Hi Tribe, and welcome to your next video. So this one is on timeline. So a lot of my clients' stories and beliefs about their current self, their adult self, stems from their childhood, and something happens between the ages of 0 to 7 that they create meaning and belief about themselves, and then they spend the rest of their life backing up this one thought and belief about themselves. So that thought and belief happens between 0 to 7, then there'll be another pinpoint where we'll find it in your childhood, then we'll also find it in your teenage years, and then we'll find in your adult years, and then who you are now, is because it's a chunk of evidence that backs up this thought and belief that you actually have about yourself. So I'm going to take you through my timeline just so that you can get a bit of understanding about what I'm talking about, and then we can go through and figure out what yours is. So from the ages of 0 to 7. So my first pinpoint is my biological father left when I was 2. And that made me believe that I wasn't worthy, I didn't deserve love, success, or happiness. So this is my core thought and belief about myself that has come about from a 2-year-old. And a 2-year-old doesn't understand why their father left them and has abandoned them. But from there, I believed that I wasn't worthy. I wasn't good enough. And that was the 2-year-old me. Then we fast forward to where I was actually in school, and I broke my sandals. And I come from Queensland, so sandals, I hope you guys get the reference. And what happened is Mum got really, really angry because I broke my sandals. And that meant I had to be perfect to make everybody love me. I can't make people angry. I need to be a people pleaser, because if I'm perfect, everybody will love me. So if I'm perfect, everybody will love me, people won't abandon me, and I should be able to be okay in the world. Then if I was perfect and everybody loved me, that meant I made to be the top of my class. So all through my primary school and high school, junior high, I was the top of my class. And that's because if I studied really hard and I got really good grades, everybody will love me because I'm perfect. Now that also led to a lot of bullying as well, because in a public school, unfortunately, they didn't support people that were academic, and a lot of people bullied the smarter kids. So I got bullied pretty badly. So then I turned into the party girl, and I partied harder than anybody possibly could, also trying to study a diploma in community service, but also holding down a part-time job. But again, if I do everything wonderfully well, people will love me. If I'm the party girl, everybody's going to love me. I'm going to be the most awesome party girl there possibly is. I will work really, really hard, and I did really well, and I'm going to study really hard. And that does lead to burnout. Like, I was only sleeping a couple of hours a night, and no wonder as an adult I got adrenal fatigue because I just pushed the boundaries so many times. Then let's fast forward to my early 20s, and I did bodybuilding. So again, that's that pursuit for perfectionism and happiness through the way that I looked. If I looked perfect, then everybody would love me. So you can see that I kept searching for this perfectionism, because I was abandoned when I was 2. And if I was perfect, then people wouldn't abandon me and everybody would love me. And that was the result of a lot of thoughts and beliefs about being perfect, because then everybody would love me. And I don't know if this is a story for you guys, but find your story. This one thought and belief about yourself is anchored back to 0 to 7. And that is, if we can unlock that, we can unlock anything. So find that thought and belief that you had about yourself from 0 to 7 that somehow impacts your current thought and belief about yourself. And then work through your timeline and find those certain points. There'll be that 0 to 7. That will be that 7 till about 12. And then there'll be that teenage years, and then early adulthood. There will be this timeline that backs up this thought and belief about yourself. So I want you to really sit down, and it may take a little bit to actually be there and journal and stay present in that space. But see if you can hold that space and really unravel where this thought and belief came from. And then we're going to go back and think, well, okay, what maturity level did you have at 0 to 7? I know at 2-year-old, I didn't have the maturity level to go, okay, my father's an idiot, and there's many other words that I could use for him, that it's his fault for leaving me when I was 2, because he was unequipped to actually deal with a child, and he wanted to run away from his problems instead of take responsibility. I didn't have context when I was 2-year-old to have that adult conversation with myself. And if an adult tried to have that conversation, obviously none of it would make sense. So I went back to the 2-year-old me and said, look, Kim, you're okay. You're completely safe. You are lovable. Just because your father abandoned you doesn't make you wrong or imperfect or unlovable. It was just he wasn't able to take responsibility for a child, and that is okay. So then writing that letter to the mini me, the little version of you, will help you actually heal your past. But the first step is you need to find where this thought and belief came from. Another client, she had her younger sibling, and her younger sibling was told that she was pretty, much, much prettier than my client. And because of that, she made this thought and belief about herself that she needed to be invisible because she wasn't pretty enough. And then she spent the rest of her life being invisible. And when we were trying to change her body composition, she would sabotage her results because she learned that she should be invisible because she'll never be good enough like her sister. And then that layer of fat around her actually helped her be invisible. And when we tried to shift her body weight, then unfortunately she'd sabotage her results because her comfortable is being invisible. So we really worked on that identity around being invisible to get her comfortable and safe with being able to step up into the world and speak out at certain things if she didn't like things, not shy away from attention, so that she could become comfortable with herself so that she didn't sabotage her results. Now, this is a pretty full-on worksheet, so if you do have any concerns with it or anything that pops up, if there's any trauma, by all means you need to get professional help. And if you reach out to me, I'll give you links for psychologists or counsellors that will be able to help you, because can be quite raw, and it is about your childhood and it may be trauma. So please seek professional help if that comes up for you. If not, just please work through this, journal. The more that you can journal and get these thoughts out of your head, the easier your healing process will be. And if you're really stuck, please reach out to me. Send me a private message, kim@realfit.com.au. Just reach out so that I can actually help you through this, because there is going to be some stuff that comes up for you. And your journal is also your best friend, and help get all that emotion out. And sending letters of forgiveness certainly help, and I know it's helped me. I don't actually physically give those letters to people, but by writing the letters of forgiveness helped me heal. So this is about your healing process and not playing victim. I could easily play victim to the fact that my father abandoned me, that my ex-boyfriend committed suicide, and that my father committed a horrendous crime. I could play victim about that, but I've chosen not to. I've chosen to reframe this situation. Now, I know that the teenage me, unfortunately, didn't have those resources, and I partied like there was no tomorrow and spent most of my time drunk because I couldn't deal with my past. But I can stand here and tell you, if you work on this stuff, you certainly can move forward from it, and you can reframe it and you can set it free. Like, I've met my biological father, the piece doesn't fit, and I choose not to have any further contact with him, but I have the power. I actually sent out forgiveness and went, okay, what has happened? I don't justify anything that's happened, but by forgiving him, I've become neutral and then able to move forward in my life so that I don't sabotage my own results from binge eating. Just like you guys, I did have that habit of binge eating and binge drinking because of these stories and beliefs from 0 to 7. So I hope that by sharing a little bit about my story has helped you understand why it's important to really do this work. So good luck with this one. This one's going to be emotional. I'm just putting it out there, just giving you a bit of warning, but I know that you can get through it, and reach out if you need. Take care, tribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.